Hi everyone, this is Jayme here. So today's going to be a voiceover style. We're going to be doing a sunset kind of peacock inspired makeup look. So we're going to be using the Norvina Pro Pigment palette number 3, and we're going in with this first peachy shade from the top row. It's A3, and we're going to buff that into the crease. Sorry for the shakiness, I was just moving my camera and light a little closer so you can see better. So just buffing in windshield wiper motions from the inner corner to the outer corner and keeping it in somewhat of a cat eye shape, dragging that outer corner up and out towards the brow bone more. Dipping back into that shade as many times as we need to build up that peachy orange shade. Ignore my talking throughout the video. This was supposed to be a step-by-step voice tutorial, but my audio didn't work, so I have to do a voiceover instead. Now I'm just doing the same thing on the other eye, just buffing that A3 shade, the peachy orange shade, all over the crease for the transition. And I'm using a MAC 224 brush to do so. And my foundation, concealer, and cream bronzer is already on my face before starting this video, so that's why my base is done. I'm just really making sure to buff out the edges. Really want a blown out blended look today, no harsh lines. And I'm grabbing a MAC 217 brush now. And I'm going to go into the bright orange shade on the palette. It's B1. And I'm going to use that to go in the same area but a little bit closer directly in the crease. Just building up that orange shade. So this one I'm keeping more focus directly in that crease and not bringing it up as far towards the brow bone. And you don't have to worry about getting it on the lid here because we are going to go in with a different shade later on. So you can be a little bit messy on the lid, you just want to keep it a little bit more precise in the crease. And make sure you're really blending those two shades together on the edges so the bright orange fades nicely into the peachy orange. And same thing on the other eye. And for this look, you want to make sure that it's dark on the inner and outer corner, all throughout the crease. So even distribution of the color throughout the eyelid. So I'm taking my brush and putting it flat up against my face and doing a scratching method that I learned from Nikki Tutorials videos. That just helps really blend the two shades together, and then I go back in with the MAC 224 brush that we used with that first shade, and I'm just blending them together further. And back in with that bright orange to just deepen up the eyes, make sure everything is even. And you want to bring it pretty high up towards the brow bone, not right up to the eyebrow, but close, because we just want to leave room for a highlight shade, but it is a very blown out look that we're going for today. Okay, next we're going in with a C1, the magenta purpley pink shade in the Norvina palette, and we're going to pack that on the lid. We're mixing it with a little bit of this shade from the Morphe X Jeffree Star palette, and that's the shade Self-Made that we're mixing it with, and we're going to take a MAC 236 brush, I believe. It's a flat packer brush, and we're going to start building that up onto the eyelid. We're going to be using majority of the Norvina shade, but just a pinch of Self-Made from the Morphe palette to add a little bit more pink. So right now I'm going just with Self-Made the pink, just to outline where I want the shades to be. And I'm placing it directly in the crease and just slightly scratching at the edges with the tip of my brush to blend out the edges into the orange. And again, windshield wiper motions and packing motions from inner to outer corner in that crease. And then I went back in with the 217 brush from MAC with that bright orange shade, and I'm using that to just blend out the pink into the orange to have a seamless blend and fade. Same thing on the other eye, just blending out the edges to make sure that it's a gradual fade from pink to orange to peach. Just going back in with that orangey shade and building up the intensity, mixing in a little bit of that pink to make sure that the edges are blending nicely. And I just took a clean brush and went over all the edges to make sure that there were no harsh lines, and there's no additional product on this brush. Sorry if you can hear wind or dogs barking in the background here, it's hard being at home. And I'm just going in with a clean MAC 217 brush, not 217, sorry, 236, the flat packer brush, and I'm going in with just the shade from the Norvina palette and just packing that on the lid. I'm just going to keep building that shade up until I get it to the intensity and the color I want, and then I'm going to blend the edges into that pink. Just taking a Jaclyn Hill X Morphe brush to buff away any fallout that happens under the eyes. So this is when, if you have a preference of doing your eyes before your face, you could have done that because we do get some fallout from this purple shade. I don't mind dusting it away as long as I've powdered before, so then it dusts off easily, but it's totally personal preference. So same thing on the other eye. I just went in with a smaller, it's the M506 brush with Jaclyn Hill. It's a small definer blender brush, I'm going in with that purpley pink shade, so C1 from the Norvina palette and Self-Made from the Morphe palette. I'm mixing them together and using both to blend out the edges of the pink and the purple on the lid, blending them into the orange shades. This is just a clean M506 brush from Morphe. I'm doing the same thing, just buffing out the edges with a more precise brush, and I'm going into a little bit more of that orange to use to blend out the pink. And again, back in with that clean blender brush just to blend the edges together. No additional product on this brush. And all I'm doing here is going back in with the brushes that I used previously to blend out any edges. Make sure it's a seamless blend. I'm just using that Jaclyn Hill X Morphe brush to just buff away any fallout all over the face and clean things up. And I was just showing you the fallout that's in the pan. Nothing crazy. It doesn't bother me too much when there's some kick up. It doesn't bother me too much when there's some kick up in the pan. I just dust my brush off before I use it. So I was going to go in with a ColourPop eyeliner in a green shade, but I rolled it up and it broke, so I ended up going in with a different eyeliner. So instead I ended up going with the NYX Off Tropic Pro Liner in the shade Poolboy, and all I did was warm it up on the back of my hand first, and then I went in with into the waterline with this shade. It's a nice teal blue shade. Goes towards those peacock vibes that I was going towards. So we have sunset on the top and peacock on the bottom. Don't be like me and don't pull on your eyes. It's not good. You want to try and keep them lifted, so it would be better if you could use a sponge to pull down your eyelid instead of your finger. It's a little less harsh. I just grabbed a clean M506 brush from Morphe, and I'm going in with that green shade in the Norvina palette, so A2 I believe it's called. I'm going to use that on the lower lash line to buff things out. Same thing on the other eye, from inner to outer corner on the lower lash line. I'm just buffing that light green. So all I was saying there is that that's not exactly the look I was going for. I wanted it to be a little bit of a different color on the bottom. So I'm going in with B3 instead, the more blue shade in the Norvina palette, and buffing that on top of the light green from inner to outer corner on the lower lash line. Still with that same M506 brush. And I'm trying to blend it into the pink and orange shades on the top to make sure that everything blends seamlessly without harsh lines. Don't know what I'm doing here, so I apologize for that. Just going back in with that same shade now and deepening things up. I think I might be mixing in a little bit of Brother from the James Charles X Morphe palette just to get more of a blue, brighter look on the bottom. And then just taking that Jaclyn Hill X Morphe brush to buff away the fallout from that shade as well. And I really like to smoke out the lower lash line, so I'm bringing it pretty far down because I want you to be able to see that blue shade through my mascara and when my eyes are open, closed, anything. And then I just went back in with that blue liner from NYX just to re-intensify it on the waterline because we did lose a little bit when I was blending away and my eyes were watering a little bit. Now I'm just taking a light shimmer eyeshadow from the Morphe X Jeffree Star palette. I'm taking, I believe it's called Welcome. Yeah, Welcome. Mixed with a little bit of designer label and putting that on the brow bone, and I'm using an E37 brush from Morphe. And I'm also applying that to the inner corners to brighten things up. I'm bringing that inner corner highlight a little bit more up inside on the sides of the nose just to brighten things up more. Then going back in with that MAC 224 brush that had our initial transition shade on it just to blend out the edges, and a clean brush on the lower lashes to again blend out the edges. Now I'm just taking the Hourglass Climax mascara. I just have a sample size and I'm going to use that to coat my lashes. Actually, before I do that, I'm using my MAC brow set in clear just to set my brows. I don't fill in my brows, I do have them microbladed, so all I have to do is set them with a clear brow gel or a tinted one sometimes. So today I'm just using clear. And now I'm going in with that Hourglass mascara just to coat the lashes. I'm just coating them enough that my lashes are black so they blend in with the falsies that we're going to apply. Same thing on the other eye. And all I was doing there was wiping some of the mascara off that comes off on the wand because a lot comes up. And I tend to be a little messy with mascara, so I end up with it all over my lid if I don't wipe some off when it's brand new. So now I'm just showing you how the mascara looks. It was my first time using it. I do like it. It's a little bit of a wetter formula than I'm used to, so it was a little bit messy, but I liked it. It did a good job with the lashes. Now I'm just going on with the lower lashes, same mascara. And excuse my mascara face here. Can anyone put their mascara on without looking funny? I don't know. Leave me a comment below and let me know. Cleaning up any mascara marks I got with a Q-tip. I'm back, and lashes and mascara are on the upper and lower lashes. I did take some black eyeshadow and pat it along the lash line on the upper lashes just to mask the lash band. Now I'm just taking a clean brush and I'm just buffing out the edges, making sure everything is nice and smooth and blended, no harsh lines once the lashes are on. Again, just assessing the situation, seeing if there's anything I want to add. And I did go in with ABG Lashes in the style Toyko today. This was my first time using them. It's from a local girl in Edmonton who makes these lashes. They're really nice. These ones are long, more dramatic, but they're very wispy, so you can still see the eyeshadow look through them, which I really enjoy. Here's me getting up close and personal to try and show you the lashes. Now I'm just going to scoot you back and we'll do some face makeup. So like I mentioned before, I do have foundation, concealer, and powder on already. Now I'm going to go in with the Fenty Beauty Instant Warmth Bronzer in the shade Inda Sun. It's my favorite bronzer of all time. So I'm just going to slightly contour and bronze the face with this. I'm using a MAC contour brush. I'll have everything linked down below in the comments bar so you can see what products I used. Now I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette and I'm using the lightest shade. It's kind of an ashy shade, and I'm using that same brush and I'm just going to further contour more with this shade. It's a little bit less warm than the Fenty one, so it's better for precisely contouring. Now I like to use bronzer kind of like a blush, so as you can see I'm bringing it further up on the apples of the cheeks just to keep the face nice and warm, and a little bit on the nose. I don't contour my nose, I just brush the sides with the bronzer so everything looks cohesive on the face. Next I'm going in with a MAC 142 brush. This is a special edition size, so it's small, it was a collection, and I'm going to go into Nars Laguna bronzer to further warm up the skin. If you haven't noticed, I like to use a lot of bronzers. Bronzer is my favorite part of makeup. So just taking that bigger fluffy brush and going along more the perimeters of the face just to add some more warmth. And I do like to go on the neck just to make sure everything matches. And that was me realizing that my eyeshadow matched my shirt, which I did not plan, so I was pretty excited about it. It's been a while since I had lashes on, so my lashes poking me in the eye. That's all I was saying there, trying to fix it so it didn't keep poking me and my eyes didn't start watering. Now I think I'm finally done with the bronzer, and I'm going to go in with blush, and I'm using the ABG Cosmetics 10 color palette. I'm going to go in with that peachy corally shade there, so it matches the orange and pinks on the eyes, so I might mix a couple. All of these blushes are really good. They're very pigmented. They're a little bit dusty, so when you dip your brush into it, there's a lot of kick up, but the pigment is great, and I just tap off my brush before I use it and it's fine. I'm going with a MAC brush. It's a very flimsy brush. It's my favorite for blush because it just nicely diffuses the product and it doesn't make it too heavy. I do like a lot of blush, so I add quite a bit here. You can always add less if you want. And even though I'm going in with a matte blush, these ABG Cosmetics blushes have a slight sheen to them, so they aren't fully matte. They do add a slight bit of glow, as you can see. Sorry for the wind, I'm sitting outside videoing my voiceover. Then I just take my powder brush and I go over all the edges just to make sure everything is blended and nothing is too harsh or too pigmented on my cheeks. I'm going with the Jaclyn Hill JH07 brush, I believe, and I'm taking the ABG Cosmetics contour palette and taking the banana shade, the light yellow one, and putting that under the eyes to brighten, sides of the nose, and I'm going to use it to clean up my contour as well. I don't like to bake, I have dry skin, so I like to just clean it up instead of baking, and that's what you can see me doing here. Again, just assessing the situation, I like to step back every now and again and see how things are looking and seeing where I need to add more color or blend things out better. Next I'm going to go in with highlighter. I'm going to take the Kylie Cosmetics wet set. This is the original one, and I mixed the top two shades, Privacy Please, and I cannot remember the second name. But these are amazing. They're kind of a spongy formula, so they feel kind of wet, but they go on just beautifully. They're very intense. They're not for the faint of heart, but I love them. I use them every day almost. And I'm using the Real Techniques setting brush to apply it. I find this one works because it's a little bit denser, so it works nice for the semi-cream formula such as the Kylie one, but it also works beautifully with powders. Then I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter in the shade Precious Petals, and I'm going to apply that just slightly on top. Not that I need any more, but I'm a little extra today with this glam look. And I'm going to go back into that wet set and use the same two shades to highlight my inner corner and brow bone, and I'm using the Morphe E36 brush to do that. This is the best inner corner highlight. It stays all day and stays looking super reflective. Taking my hair out, taking a step back to look how things look to finish it off. Then I have to apply my lip color. So here I'm trying a Morphe one, but I end up not liking it. It's too pink for the look, too dark and pink, not peachy enough. Instead, I go in with a different lip liner. I'll have everything linked down below. This is a Bite Beauty lip liner though, I believe. So I'm just lining my lips. I don't overdraw my lips. I do have pretty full lips, so I'm just lining my natural lip line. Then I'm going in with the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics lipstick. I cannot remember the shade, but I will have that linked down below as well. I believe it's Obsessed. It's a nude peachy shade. I know there's a big scandal around her lipsticks, but I do really like them. Sorry if you can hear the rain, it's raining outside. Then I just went ahead and added a gloss. It was a matte gloss in Very Gold Lightly, I believe, or Very Gold Lightly. Just a shimmery gold gloss, and I'm just adding it directly on top. And then I'm going to go ahead and set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is amazing. It makes you look so glowy, and the mist is so fine. I go a little overboard with the setting spray, but that's okay. Then I'm just going to go ahead and take a beauty sponge, and I like to pat everything in after setting my face, just to push the product further into the skin and make it look more skin-like. And it helps with that glowy look as well. Sorry I'm touching my hair so much. And this is the final look, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Here's a little close-up, and I will try and put some pictures in here if I can figure out how to do that. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure and subscribe, and I will see you next my video. Bye-bye.